This is Business Morning. You're welcome back to the program. Don't forget you can send in your tweets at this morning as we take your questions. As an investor who is watching this program, you could be concerned about what's going on in the stock market, and you want to send in your comments and even your questions to Mike Itegbuje, who is still here with us in the studio. Thank you, Mr. Itegbuje. Yeah. Let's take up from where we stopped the other time we went on break. The issue of market makers, and that takes me back to what PFAs are doing. You said that PFAs, they're not really doing as much as many people were wanting to do. What do you think is restricting them?
Yeah, because of I guess they have to give valuation reports on a regular basis to PENCOM, and then shareholders, the pensioners or the potential pensioners have to also have regular information about what the value of their assets are. And so on that basis, they have to be a bit more careful in what they allocate to the market. And in a situation where if they believe that they are going to impair or they are going to risk the assets of their customers, they may not do as much as they want to. And so, but what can be done to encourage them to say, no, here's a minimum threshold, that you should reach this minimum threshold and don't go beyond this maximum.
That has been settled in terms of this percentage of PFAs can invest.
They were given a maximum threshold, not a minimum. Okay. In which case, if I think as a PFA that I can do 5%, well, I'm good. But if you say, look, if by regulation you say, look, they can do 15%, for instance, then they know that they must have a portfolio that has a minimum of 15% and then a maximum of 25%. They can do that. But right now, there's nothing compelling them. And so they have to take a business decision. And sometimes that business decision is skewed towards the fastest means of getting money, forgetting the fact that pension funds are long-term funds and capital market is a long-term investment instrument for anybody. So until somebody is retiring, his funds can be arranged in such a way that you look at the age bracket. Somebody who is 25 years old and started paying for his pension, it has a long time of service. And therefore, you have to situate that and say, why not I put his funds into equity? Because equity over the long term, no matter how bad the economy is, no matter how bad the market is, always brings better returns than all these other short-term measures. So what we should look at, what PFA and PENCOM should look at is say, how do we take advantage of the market for the long term, for those who are exiting late, but for those who are immediate, then you look at the short end of it, put their money in treasury bills, put their money in bonds, because you know that they'll be retiring soon. But those who have long time to retire, you can always put their money in equity.
Let's get back to the issue of oil, dwindling oil prices. We've seen the president, I was trying to read that before now, saying that all oil-producing countries should work together in order to overcome the current challenge of falling crude oil prices. Now, one do not know for how long this will persist, for how long there could be a reversal, although we saw a slight adjustment in the price of crude just a few days ago. And that goes to, talk about our investors, for those who are still jittery about our market. What do you think should be done at this point in time by the regulators, both the NSC and the SEC? What steps do you suggest they take in this regard? Because this may likely continue until oil prices begin to rise at the level that we used to have them before.
Yeah. You see, there are some decisions that the NSC and the SEC have been contemplating taking that could have adverse effects and worsen the situation. For instance, the issue of recapitalization for capital market operators. This is a good opportunity to say, wait a minute, can we continue with that? Why don't we suspend it for a period and watch this market and see how it goes? That's one reason. There are some other actions they can take. For instance, educate the public that there's no need to panic. If NSC and SEC do that, of course, in the next few weeks, the Capital Market Committee will be having a conference, a retreat, and at that retreat, I'm sure some fundamental issues will be discussed that will help the investors. So everyone needs to be educated, and SEC can play that role effectively. Public enlightenment, that there's no need to panic. You see, the oil has, like I said, has a limited impact on the market. It has only to the extent that foreigners are afraid that our reserve will be depleted, and then they cannot get their, they want to transfer their money, they may not be able to. But that, again, can be reassured. You can reassure them by CBN and say, look, don't worry, once you did capital importation, you are going to be, you'll be able to remit your money as and when
the challenge of capital importation, yes, again, could be linked to these foreign partners, foreign investors,
yeah,
who are not pulling the monies out of the market itself. So where do you think the stockbrokers who have been given the deadline of December 31st to recapitalize,
yeah,
to get this funds from?
That's the question.
How do they go about it?
That's the issue. That's why even right now, even those who have met, who have some of their, a larger percentage of their capital in equity, I mean, have lost a lot of that value. So if somebody made 300 million before, now it's probably less than that. And if SEC was to implement that today, that person, that company will not be able to operate. So that's why we are saying, look, something that has to be done. If I were in the regulator's position to say, look, okay, I'm going to halt this movement for now and wait until an appropriate time. That appropriate time will be monitored from time to time and determined by the vagaries of the market. So what we are saying is, in all and sundry, including the president, we have to be involved in this situation. The economy, the president has to have a buy-in on the capital market. He has to see the capital market as a pivotal sector of this economy, one of the engines that can drive the economy. The Ministry of Finance must be involved in saying that, yes, this market not only stabilizes, but develops and grows. So all of us have a stake in this market. Whether you are an investor, whether you are a policymaker, whether you are a regulator, whether you are a politician, you know, politicians are also selling.
They also invest as well.
No, they invest, but not now they are selling.
Okay, they're raising money.
They're raising money for primaries and all that and that. And of course, those of them who have shares see it. So
we may be in for a long haul here, because
no, we are not.
Because the elections are a few months away before the stability comes back.
You know, they have to. The time they really need money is at this stage, primary. Because once somebody has been given the mandate, then he has a lot of supporters who will chip in money, who can. But right now that he's on his own, he's finding, he wants to be sure. And nobody wants to put money on somebody you are not sure is going to win. Until he wins the primary, then you can say, well, let's put money. So I believe, from my own perspective, that is why some of them will need to sell their assets right now to win the primary. And then when they win the primary, then it becomes a party issue.
Okay, before we wrap up, now we are part of the World Federation of Exchanges. That the Nigerian Stock Exchange has been admitted into the World Federation of Exchanges, and in line with what's going on in the global markets, volatility here and there, I wouldn't want to call it risk. Do you think it's going to come along or come with this kind of a membership, but the benefit as well? How do we think we can take advantage of being a member of the World Federation of Exchanges and yet being able to build our market because we're now a member? Because
we're now a member, we have a lot of responsibilities to develop this market to the best standard in the world. In which case, the operators have to up their game, re-educate themselves, because they know they are playing in the international arena. The investors themselves have to see that, look, we are now in an international environment. And so we're not just an isolated group. So we are getting value. See the way the U.S. market operates. You know, right now the Dow Jones is over 17,000. Why? Because people believe in the market. Whether internally or externally, people believe in that market. And that is what we need to do. In Nigeria, people have to believe in this country and believe in this market. That this market has value and is big, it can be bigger than it is today. Well, because of the nature or the admission into WFE, I believe that those international companies that have been afraid of getting listed, there's a good opportunity for them to come in and be listed, because they know now that, look, we are exposed to the international standards, we are going to meet international standards, of international investors.
And the risks are also there.
And the risks are minimal, I can tell you. Because when the US market crashed, the Dow Jones dropped from about 13,000 index to 8,000. Now it's 17,000. I mean, the risk has been overcome, isn't it? Because it's more than double. Ours is still struggling to get there to where we were in 2008. But now, with that kind of exposure, the only thing I want is, look, there should be more Nigerians involved in our stock market than
more individual investors now.
Both individual and institutional investors.
More of institutional than individual investors.
Right now, yes. So we need more. I mean, out of a population, let's put a working population of 45 million. 25 million should be in this market at least, for it to be important, for it to be viable, for it to be attractive, for it to make meaning to everybody. Because when you have 25 million investing in this country, whether foreigners are in it or not, you don't care. But right now, I'm not sure we have up to 3 million Nigerians involved in this market. And we have to get Nigerians to be involved, to take part in this market. Because their market, they have to get the benefits, not foreigners only.
Okay, we hope that comes to pass soon.
Very soon. We have immediate plans. The market has immediate plans. You have short-term plans, and you have long-term plans.
Long-term plans. We hope that everything, we all want to see the market grow, and the numbers keep increasing. That is I'm sure you, as a stockbroker, you also like that as well. Want to see the market to grow. Okay. Just before we wrap up the program, I'd like to tell our viewers that there will be a live coverage of presidential declaration at Eagle Square in Abuja, and that will be taking place any moment from now. And so for all of you out there, just be ready to watch the presidential declaration of President Goodluck Jonathan in Abuja. That's at the Eagle Square. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want you all get to go to the market and call your brokers and start buying shares.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mike. Mike is the former president of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers, and we've been talking about the equities market. There's been a decline for the past few months, and everyone out there wants to see a change, including myself. Thank you for watching Business Morning. We do appreciate your time with us on the show. I am Bolaji Akinwale.